I have no idea what I'm doing on YouTube. I have no desire to be YouTube famous. I have no desire to be on YouTube, but I do have a desire to impact people with knowledge and information that they need to make decisions in their life, to grow, to be successful, and to not struggle with what's happening around them because they were not aware of what was happening to them. Hey everyone, it is Jaylen Bledsoe. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. This podcast is being live recorded on YouTube and being pushed back out to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, wherever podcasts are available. I have found it a lot easier for me to create content that's live and have a conversation with those who are watching on Instagram or those who are watching on YouTube live than it is to sit in front of a camera and try to repeat a script until I get it right. The good thing about a live environment is that I can be me, and if I mess up, who cares? Now, if it's me behind a camera and I'm just recording it straight through, I might take 15 takes just to open it up because I'm a perfectionist looking for the perfect words, the perfect cadence, and the perfect flow. So we go live. I'm figuring out the cadence of when we'll go live. It'll either be on, Mondays and Thursdays or Mondays and Fridays to break down what's taking place in the business and economy and personal finance investment news and give explainers on what it means to you or give my opinions and my predictions. Let's just kick it off with debt ceiling. That is moving. Hopefully, we'll see something come through tonight on this Thursday. Yesterday, Wednesday, the House passed the debt ceiling bill. Today, the Senate is also voting, and that should be going through later on tonight. So more details to come. What really got my attention today, catch this, $2.9 million worth of allergy medicine was stolen from U.S. retailers in 2022. And this is theft that is impacting everyone from Target to Home Depot, to TJ Maxx, to Kohl's, to Foot Locker, to Dollar Tree, and so many others. I mean, it's gotten so bad that retailers are beginning to shut down stores in high theft areas, which we know is ultimately going to impact lower income and Black and brown communities more than any other. It's interesting, as I was reading the report and the data on this, they were saying that in 2021 or 2022 for Target, they lost $763 million from theft, or what they call shrink, which is theft, which is internal theft, or it is loss and system issues. And this year, Target is expecting to lose $1 billion in that category of shrink. Across the industry, in 2021, there was a report of $94.5 billion. It's crazy. So I'm really eager to see what happens. As these stores have done a few things over the years, they've implemented self-checkout. Will self-checkout remain a reality at places like Walmart, at Target with this incredible theft? I don't think so. The thing about this, they believe that when people are stealing the allergy medicine, this $2.9 million worth of it from 2022, that it is landing on places like Facebook Marketplace. There's an entire business that's taking place of people just stealing from Walgreens and CVS to take allergy medicine, apparently. Today, Meta revealed their Meta Quest VR headsets. Now, I'll be honest. VR, is it the future? I recall years ago, if you got a Samsung phone, that Samsung would give you a free VR headset. And I know I had multiple in my home. I had friends who had them, and they were a craze for the first week. But after that first week, no one cared. Now, let's be clear. Meta's Reality Labs unit reported a loss of $3.99 billion in the first quarter of 2023, while only generating $339 million. So I'm wondering, as they're investing this money, what is their real prediction on the future of VR? Because for me, I think it's AR. I think it's a mixture of VR and AR, which is augmented reality, or purely AR. Next week, Apple is announcing their hybrid headset. Most believe it'll be a mixture of the two. But if we're being honest, let's just take a moment and acknowledge how Apple, have they missed the craze, the opportunity to be the AI leader in generative AI search? It would just be amazing if I could go on my phone and use Siri, and that was the AI that we're all been engaging with via ChatGPT for the last month or two. But let's be real. Is Apple losing to Microsoft? Out of all people, the grandpa of innovation? Okay, let's just flow. I mean, Apple is not a company that releases technology first. I don't associate Apple often with innovation. Apple likes to sit back, watch their competitors release products, invest the money to create those and fail in some cases. And then Apple comes up with this perfect keynote presentation and they release a perfected product. They've done it for the last 10 plus years, so I'm expecting that to happen now. It's just weird that Apple is not in the game right now when it comes to advanced conversational AI. We've had Siri in our pockets for years, and you would think they would have started with that and they could have won with that a lot earlier than everyone else. I just think there's a lesson in that. It's to know your place. Apple has mastered knowing that they don't have to innovate. They just have to perfect someone else's innovation and market it better than they did. I think there's something about that lesson that applies to everybody. Knowing your place. And it's not just knowing your place from a sense of like stay in your lane and that's it, but knowing what you're good at, knowing where you perform best at, knowing where you best operate from. And in that space of knowledge, in that space of comfort, plus some room for growth to step outside of what comfort is, you perform well. I think there's a note in there for somebody. If that's you, say amen, say hi, say that's me. I don't know. But I just think the idea of knowing your place and operating from a place of knowing what you do well and giving room to expand and challenge yourself is critical. And Apple has definitely mastered that. With VR headsets, I fly planes and I often will throw on a Quest 2 VR headset. I think the commercial application will ultimately be AR, or as I said, a hybrid of the two. Let's go back to the old Google Glass days, and I think that really is the future to some extent, but maybe in a more perfected and commercial and affordable way. There's a 2022 CNBC article mentioning a data point from research firm NPD Group that says that the sales of VR headsets in the US in 2022 declined by 2% from 2021 highs. Now, obviously, 2021 was COVID, and I'm just hoping that Meta is not making decisions on investing crazy money, billions of dollars a quarter in loss into this idea just because of what they saw as growth during the COVID era. I'm going to assume they have some intelligent people in the rooms guiding these decisions. But it's also, headsets are almost like a PlayStation or an Xbox. If there is a big spike of purchases, that's amazing. But those same headsets are going to stay in someone's home, whether in use or not, for years. And the only reason that someone's going to buy a second or third headset is because there's been a significant upgrade in the technology or capabilities to push them and encourage an upgrade. Especially when these aren't going for $50, they're not going for $100, they're going for $299 or $399, and that's so important to recognize. They have to have these significant upgrades, not the small incremental upgrades that they've been doing over the last release or two. Let's see what happens with VR. Today, Thursday, the Pentagon announced that they'll fund the purchase and operation of Elon Musk and SpaceX's Starlink in Ukraine. Last year, there was a need to get internet connection and accessibility to those in Ukraine, and Elon Musk offered it up for free out of his pocket. But then in October, he released a note on Twitter saying he would not indefinitely cover the cost for the terminals in Ukraine at the cost of $20 million a month. I don't have a lot to say there, but there's a lesson in that. The lesson is clearly announce you'll do something for charity, build dependency on your nice thing, and make the government pay for it instead. I'm kidding, but in reality, like that's what Elon Musk did. He announced something for charity. He built a dependency on it. Like, hey, I don't have internet, but I got you. Here's the one thing that'll work. Gave it to them for free as a free trial, and then made the US government pay for it. So that's just, I don't know. I feel like it's smart, but also cruel. I don't know how to feel about that one. And even though the Supreme Court has a case on this issue, the Senate voted to repeal Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. I mean, it was a vote of 52 to 64 with 2 Democrats and an independent voting with Republicans, but we all know Biden's going to veto it. But again, it's a case that we're waiting on SCOTUS to give an opinion on, which at the end of the day is the only act that matters in determining if these student loans will be forgiven. I just feel bad for everyone who voted for Biden on the simple fact that they thought they were getting their debts forgiven for student loans, and it's not happened. I think this all goes back to that. It's not credibility. I think it's the public opinion of Biden. And even though it's not his fault necessarily, it is definitely being blown back on him because people thought that he was going to guarantee this. And obviously it's not guaranteed at the current moment. Now, if the Supreme Court sides with Biden, his second term is guaranteed. That is a non-negotiable. If the Supreme Court aligns with Biden, everyone who has doubts about Biden, once their loans are forgiven, because he said they would be at some point, oh, he's guaranteed. But now if they don't, it's still up in the air on who wins the 2024 race for president. So we shall see. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this conversation. As I've mentioned before, I have no idea what I'm doing on YouTube. I know how to record audio, know how to record video, but what I'm doing here is a question. I've gotten a lot of requests on Instagram over the last 6 months to a year asking about inflation or recession and how it impacts their business and what they can do differently. So I'm here on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram Reels and on YouTube Shorts and on wherever else I can post a video, answering questions and hopefully giving my best understanding of how it applies to you, your business, your life, and how you can make decisions based off of that. If you like this, like the video, comment your thoughts, good or bad, because that feedback will help me make this a better conversation for you. I have no desire to be YouTube famous. I have no desire to be on YouTube, but I do have a desire to impact people with knowledge and information that they need to make decisions in their life, to grow, to be successful, and to not struggle with what's happening around them because they were not aware of what was happening to them. Thank you again. Make sure you subscribe, like, follow, all the things that you can do, and I'll catch you soon.